Hello everyone, I am Dead Knight and this is In It to Win It. Thanks for coming to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you comment on this video and like it. Check out my other ones, like them too. Today we are going to talk about Mercenaries. This is a new Hearthstone mode and I have been playing it pretty hard in the last month or so, and in my opinion it is really fun. I'm really enjoying it. I like just about every aspect of the game. And I've been spending some time on Twitter and Reddit and online, and looking for kind of what the reaction was and how people are thinking of it. And I've been really surprised to see a lot of hate about the mode, and I don't really get it. I wanted to just kind of talk about my thoughts and offer my version of a defense of this mode, which I've really enjoyed. So if you want to hear my thoughts, stay tuned and let me know what you think. And hopefully this might encourage you to give it a chance and think about why this mode exists in the first place. And then remember that when you're trying to play the game, grind it the way it's supposed to be grinded, and PvP the way it's supposed to PvP. And just think about the origins here. So, well, what do I mean by that? This mode's been in development for over a year. They've been working on it for a while. It got delayed from COVID, and it came out a little rough around the edges. There were some high profile bugs, and people were quick to jump on those and joke that Blizzard's a small indie company. They can't possibly fix all these bugs. But I mean, come on, this is a pretty big, ambitious undertaking. They did rush it out a little bit, but I'm glad they did, because it is a playable mode that's a lot of fun, and I can wait for them to fix it, and they've shown that they're devoted to that, so I'm willing to give them a chance there. But more importantly is why did they make this mode in the first place? So let's go down the PVE journey. For those of us who have been playing Hearthstone for a very long time, I came in around as right when Naxxramas came out, which was the first PVE mode. So you PVE'd, you had to pay gold to unlock the mode, or you could pay money, and then you get a fun and challenging PVE experience that gave you access to new cards to play in Standard, which wasn't Standard at the time; it was just Hearthstone. And then from there, every time a new set came out, you get a steady PVE. And for me, I always found it fun. Having used to play World of Warcraft, I liked the lore, I liked the nostalgia of going back through and playing those dungeons that I used to love. So you'd have a free PVE mode every 4 months, and it was good for a couple hours of gameplay. There wasn't really any replay value. You play through the dungeon, you get the cards that it lets you get, and then you go back to just playing Hearthstone. But I liked the PVE; it was fun. It just wasn't very dynamic. And again, at this point, it's free, or you have to pay to advance, but you could do it with gold, so it could be free to play. And then they were trying to figure out what they were going to do with PVE, and they finally did the Kobolds and Catacombs dungeon run. So this was super duper fun, entirely free, and pretty solid replay value. So I don't know about you guys, but I played Dungeon Run with every single class, and I've played it over and over again, even if after I've already beat it, just because it was fun. It was fun to take a random deck with hero power, get those random treasures, and see where it takes you, get some pretty silly combos going with cards that you couldn't normally play in Hearthstone, and I loved it. And again, totally free. And then after that, they released a couple more, with some better, some worse. Witchwood was fun. There was less replay value because you only had 4 heroes instead of 9. Obviously, then they had the puzzles and Boomsday, which were very challenging. I spent hours on a single puzzle just trying to figure it out, and I'm a veteran player, so that was really challenging. Then we had obviously the flop of Rastikon's Rumble, which there was a lot of replay value. It was really, really hard and frustrating for a lot of reasons. They took a lot of unforced errors with that one, where they didn't track which wins you had with which classes and which Loas and things like that. Obviously, the AI's decks were just insane, and so some of them were nearly impossible to win. You would always get the same series of lows every time, so obviously there were things they could have done better, but it was still fun for me, aside from frustrating. The challenge was there. And then it really kicked off with the uh, dollar and heist. And I spent months clearing dollar and heist and Tombs of Terror, with every single class, every single deck, every single hero power, and every single treasure. And it was just so fun, so much replay value, and I just couldn't get enough of it. And again, this was totally free PVE with so much replay value. So, after I would hit Legend in Standard and Wild, I would go and do PVE and play these fun, challenging modes. And those even spawned duels, which is a new mode we have now. So, after we had all this fun PVE, I think Blizzard finally realized that they still need to make money to support all the development that goes into these. So we got a PVE mode that can be monetized. I emphasize can be, because I have not paid any money for this, except I think I bought 10 packs with gold, so no cash, and upgraded my village. So that's it. So I've probably put about 2,000 gold into this mode, which is about what we had to put into next. And so you can totally free to play this, but at least there's an option for them to monetize it so that they can keep developing it, which is great, which means that there's a promise of PVE, endless PVE, forever. For a guy like me, that's great. But the key is it fun? And the answer is yes. So we've got a fun mode that you can play for totally free, that they're going to devote resources to, and I don't see any problem with that. I love that. So, when you're coming out of an origin with your goal is to make a long PVE scenario that can be played for free, I think Blizzard really accomplished that here. So a lot of the problems that I'm seeing people have with it is that they want to have everything maxed out within a week or a month. And that's just not reasonable. That's not what this mode was designed to do. So people are saying, oh yeah, Blizzard's just trying to drag us along and make us pay $200 to upgrade all of our stuff so that we can play. Like, no, they're not. They're not trying to do that. That's a self-made problem. They want you to be able to play this game for months. They want you to be able to, upgrade, spend the early time upgrading your favorite characters. Not even necessarily the best ones, just your favorite ones, so you can play the lore, the fun, the style of the game for free. And then if you want to play other guys, keep playing the mode and upgrade them. This is supposed to take a couple of months, because that's what this was designed for. It was designed for a months-long PVE experience, and they delivered. So people who complain about not being able to, max out PvP every character in a week or a month, I think you're really missing the point of what this game was designed to do. That said, let's talk about the gameplay a little bit. Actually, before we do that, I do want to talk about what I think is the most fair criticism of this mode, and that is actually just how bad the monetization is. And by that, I mean it's so much better to be free to play in Mercenaries than it is to pay, because whether accidentally or on purpose, Blizzard has built in the most steep and significant diminishing returns to spending money in a game that I have ever seen. So if the goal was to get people to buy stuff, they did a really bad job. So, I've seen some criticism that, this is a pay-to-win mode. I couldn't disagree more. It's a pay-to-win in the first week mode, but this is absolutely not pay-to-win, because there's diminishing returns built into buying packs. The reason is each individual merc has its own coin resource. And once you max out that merc, the coin is useless. And when you buy packs, you get mercs and you get coins. So if you have all the mercs, the more you max, the more useless coins you get, which means the more packs you open, the more likely you are to get no benefit from a pack, which means the less important it is to buy packs, which means the more likely you are to be free to play. So that was, if you're trying to monetize a game, that's a really bad way to do it. So that's the reason why I haven't spent any money on it, because I'm looking at the system and I'm saying to myself, Well, the more packs I open, the less value I get from a pack. So I'll just play the game and open packs as I get them for free from the content, and then I won't buy any packs because whenever I buy a pack, it's more likely to be useless. And and it's not even just that, because let's say you buy a bunch of packs up front. Obviously, every pack you use at that point is going to be useful because you don't have anything maxed out. But over time, if you continue to play the game, then your time becomes useless because now you're getting coins through just gameplay that are being useless. So you can either make your time useful up front and then your money useless later, or your money useful up front and then your time useless later. So I take the measured approach and I'm just spending time, and then if later down the road my packs aren't worth anything, hopefully by then they'll come out with new mercs and I can open packs and increase the value. So don't spend money on this mode. It makes no sense. It makes no sense by design. It's easy to tell that it makes no sense. So this is a firmly free to play mode as far as I'm concerned. But now let's talk about gameplay. That's the important part. None of this would matter if the game was not fun. So in my opinion, it is super fun. We're talking about basically you're playing Pokemon, but you're playing it with your favorite Hearthstone characters that you've come to know and love. So why is it like Pokemon? Well, pretty much every reason there is. So, what is Pokemon? You run around the world and you get into random encounters, um, like the random map you get on your way to your bounty, and then you try to catch Pokemon, and you want to catch them all. There's 150. Right now, there's 56 Mercs. That's probably going to go up. So, you got a lot of Mercs, a lot of Pokemon. You try to get them randomly through catching them in a Pokeball, or you try to get them randomly by accumulating random coins. So that seems kind of similar. And, Pokemon, they have all these types like fire and water and leaf, and, they kind of go in a circle. And, some of them are critically hit other ones and are super effective, and then some of them are not very effective against others. And oh gee, it sounds a lot like Mercs, where protectors crit fighters and fighters crit casters and casters crit protectors, and so you have vulnerable types just like Pokemon. Now that's weird. And then after you acquire one, you have to level up a Pokemon all the way up to level 100 before it can be useful. Oh gee, you have to level a Merc up to 30 and then get coins for their abilities to level them up to be useful. So that sounds like a really similar grind. Um, and you can try to target a Pokemon by going to a certain zone, just like you can target a Merc by going to a bounty. So that's pretty similar. And then PvP in Pokemon, you can't really do it until you have all your guys maxed out. But when you do, you take a team of 6 Pokemon, and you go and you fight another player's team of 6. Oh, that's crazy. You have 6 Mercs on a team. So it's pretty much almost exactly the same as Pokemon, except your Pokemon are Hearthstone characters. So you got Goldan, who run around throwing fell bolts out at people. So pretty funny. But let's look at the reception difference between the two. So Pokemon is commonly hailed as one of the best games ever made. Game of the year when it came out from pretty much every outlet. Spawned dozens of spin-offs and new Pokemon games that released new Pokemon. By the way, you have to buy every single one of those. So buying a cartridge of Pokemon, $50, and then when they come out with a new version, another $50. And they've released a couple dozen of these, so you're looking at $1,000 if you wanted to catch every single Pokemon. Hearthstone is completely free. So not only did Pokemon get all of this acclaim from pretty much every source universally, and costs way more money than Hearthstone, and is even more grindy because there's more Pokemon that take longer to level before you can use them in PvP. So we have this commonly beloved game that everybody thinks is one of the best games ever, and then you have Hearthstone Mercenaries, which is almost the same game, except just the Pokemon are just Warcraft characters, and everybody hates it for all the same reasons that they love this one. Why? Why do we think that these engines are different? I think we're dealing with a lot of self-made problems. I think part of the reason is because the game is so fun to play, it's so good, and people just want to play it more, and then they're looking at either what they consider a paywall, which I firmly disagree, as for the reasons I mentioned before, or they look at the grind and they don't want to do the grind, which, you know, I can understand why you wouldn't want to, but, you know, you got to make that trade-off. Is the game fun? If it's worth investing hours and hours into the end game, then why not invest some time in the middle too? So that's my take on it. I will continue to be playing this. You know, I have, I think, 20 something of my mercs maxed out, and you know, I'm going for the, I'm going to catch them all, and I'm excited to keep playing, and hopefully I'll be able to find a good format to make some videos on this, so I can talk about some of the different PvP strategies. I think I'll do a leveling guide later for those who are a little reticent, but at this point, I think most people are already, who are willing to invest, are already leveled, so we'll see. But anyway, let me know what you think of these thoughts. I hope you are enjoying Mercenaries as much as I am. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the videos, and have fun out there leveling. Go catch them all, and tune in next time.